Hey guys, welcome to the Skolo Online YouTube channel, the channel that is all about learning. We have been doing the Python series of courses where we've been teaching you a couple of things around Python, and in this video we're going to continue where we left off last week. However, before we get started, let's do a little bit of admin. If you are here for the first time, please feel free to like our video. You can do that by going to the bottom of the video and there's the like button over there. Just press it and subscribe to our channel so that you will not miss any uploads that we make, that we do. We have a new video usually every Wednesday and Saturdays, so you can keep your learning journey going. All right, if you go to the description of this video below, you will see I will include a lot of the links to any content that I talk about, especially our GitHub page, where I will put the code that I'm going to be writing in this lecture on our GitHub page, and you can go over there and you can like copy and paste it, download it, whatever, get it on GitHub. Also, if you're here for the first time, all our videos have timestamps, okay? So you do not have to watch the entire video. You can just go read through the timestamps and figure out where in the video you want to go, because our videos are quite long and perhaps you only want to read a little bit of a section, a small section. So just jump ahead to that section. And even if you come back in the future and you just want to remind yourself that one little section, the timestamps are useful for that, okay? We also have our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go over there and follow us and let's start learning, guys. In this video, we're going to be doing what we call web scrapping, okay? So by the end of this video, we are going to email ourselves this information, okay? Bertha, we found some amazing opportunity, the name of the opportunity, the URL where you can go to apply for that opportunity, and the application closing date. And I'm going to show you how to write such an email yourself. This data came from a website that we scrapped, okay? So the website we're going to be scrapping is this one over here, okay? So let me close that and let me show you. So we're going to be scrapping this website and we're going to find a way to get this data out of this website, get this link, get this information, and write it in an email and email it to ourselves. So if, for example, you want to automate some processes like this, learn a little bit about the web scraping part of data science and how you can write like a program to go into the internet and find websites and get information, extract it out of website, and do whatever it is you want to do with that information, you have come to the right place. So let's start learning. This is where stuff gets interesting with Python especially. So I'm going to show you step by step in this tutorial how to go about scrapping a website to get data out of it. This is one of the most useful skills you can have as a developer, one of the most useful skills you can have as a Python developer, because Python is most widely used in the industry for data science and data analytics. And one of the biggest part of data science is actually data extraction, where you get the data from, where you get the information from. And the internet is one of the most richest form or source of data that you can find. And it doesn't matter what project you're doing. There's a lot of information and data that can be found from the internet. So I'm going to link this below. This is a Wikipedia article on web scrapping, basic definition of what web scrapping is. But I'm going to try and give you a practical definition of web scrapping. So there's a couple of things you can use web scrapping for, and a couple of things I myself use web scrapping for, even for personal projects, okay? So one of the most useful things is to find people's information and generate leads for your business. I know you get this all the time. The moment you open like an internet website, right? If you've built a website before and you run it for like 2-3 months, and before you know it, you start getting all these emails and you have no idea where you're getting these emails from, like random people. They've got your email address and they just send you all the time. I mean, these people, I can promise you, don't go over the internet and search everybody's website. They probably got a crawler scrapper they've built that is constantly scraping the internet for email addresses, for leads, and then they've got it in their database, and then every day they're just sending random emails. They're fishing for business, and maybe 1 out of 100 reply back and they get business that way. I don't know if that really works because I hardly ever respond to those type of emails, but that is a classic example of web scraping used for lead generation. Another good use for web scraping is LinkedIn, for example. So imagine you've got a LinkedIn, you want to do a LinkedIn search and you want to search for companies that are in your niche, and you're just looking for maybe their website addresses, or you're looking for the email addresses where they're available, and all that information is on LinkedIn. So imagine clicking on each and every single LinkedIn page, browsing all the way to the bottom, and then looking for that address and then writing the name down, the companies that you are. I mean, when are you going to finish? Let's say you want to do 100 per day, So that's another thing that web scraping can be useful for. If you could write a program that would just search all of this information for you on LinkedIn, put it down on a database somewhere, and then you can just like randomly fish and write everybody an email and see who responds back. That's another use for web scraping. Social media, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, Twitter is actually one of the places that I think the majority of data companies scrap for like sort of insights sort of data, because you can go on Twitter, it's nicely organized under hashtags. So you can just search on hashtags and then you can just see what people are talking about, what your competition is doing, what are people tweeting, get all of that data, put it in some other, program and do something else with it. I'm just giving you examples of all the things that web scraping is used for. Machine learning, for example. Let's say you wanted to understand the house prices. Let's say you got a school project where they said, tell us, what do you think is sort of the trend in house prices in Johannesburg, for example. What has been happening with the house prices? You could go and I don't know, buy a research report that can tell you that most probably it's going to be wrong. Or you could actually just go onto the internet and start, maybe with your Wayback Machine on the internet and find a place, a website like, Property 24 and start looking for, Property 24, what were the prices in 1990, whatever, and what are they looking like now? Or they just want to know the trend of the prices in a region, which is the information that is currently available maybe on Web24 today. And you can just go scrap and search suburbs and find all the house prices, the rooms in the, how many rooms are in the houses, and sort of tabulate your data, and there you go, you've got your model, and you can do something with it with that data. So there's a lot of uses for web scraping. Web scraping is actually one of the most useful skills you can have as a developer, and it's not as complicated as you think. You just have to have a structured approach to it. So today we're going to do a very simplistic example of web scrapping, and I'm going to show you step by step typically how you approach such a project. Okay, so the first thing that you need is a website. We need a website that we're going to scrap. And then after we found the website that we're going to scrap, then we're going to write the code that is going to scrap that website. Then we're going to have a look at the results that we get from scrapping that website. And then we're going to decide what to do with those results. So basically, those are the steps we're going to follow in this tutorial. Hopefully, it will not be too long because I really found you a very, very simple site that's actually a project I want to do for myself anyway. To save myself some time, is there's this website called V4CA. It's basically like a venture capitalist sort of networking website. Okay, what I like to do is every now and then is to visit this website and have a look at possible opportunities within startups and entrepreneurs, and I use this for my blog, and I will relist it in my blog, which is another thing that I use web scraping for. I steal data and information from other people's websites and I rewrite it in my own website or in my own blog. Okay, so imagine I wanted to write a blog about opportunities for entrepreneurs, and I could just go and find websites like this that have it already listed and extract this data for myself and rewrite it or email my own entrepreneurs with this information as if I'm the smart person that has got access to all these opportunities and I just sort of got the data from. And people do this all the time. They get data from other people's websites and use it on their own websites. Okay, so let's do that here today. So this website is listing top opportunities, all right? So this is the website we're going to scrap. Good. Before we get onto it, let us work on our Python program and our Python development environment, okay? So like we normally do on this program or on this channel, we're going to be working off Ubuntu, okay? So this is my Ubuntu terminal. Everything that I will be typing will be typed in here. Will be the program that I will run in here because I don't like to, I've got tons and tons of Python programs which I cannot run on this little computer of mine. So I've got multiple, servers all over where I run my programs. And I think that's the best way if you're going to be a serious developer is to run your programs not on your one home PC, okay? Then I've got a Python text editor like this one. It's not a Python text editor, it's an Atom text editor. This is where we're going to write our code. And after we write this code here, we're just going to copy and paste it in there, and then we're going to run it. We're going to simplify this for you because if you really wanted to do this properly, one of the best approaches is to actually create a git a repo, a git repo here, and like a git repo that you would, like a remote repo, and you would have a git repo in your computer as well, and every time you would push your changes to the remote repo, and that will be much easier to sort of work with like that. But it's a long process setting up Git, and I've got a video where I'm showing you how to do it on my online website. But for now, because we're doing just one file of code, I think we can do the copy and pasting. Okay, so just bear with me. So when it comes to web scrapping, and I've already tapped this for you because I want to show you how simple this is, right? This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code is all you need for web scrapping. Everything else is just an iteration of these lines of code or extracting data from these lines of code. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is all you need. This right here is web scrapping in a nutshell. So that's why I'm going to simplify this for you and just show you how really easy it is to do this. So the first thing that we're going to do in web scrapping is, in our case, we're going to set up our environment where we're going to write this code. So when you get to your, wherever it is, whether you're doing this on your PC at home or you're doing this like I'm doing it on a virtual server. By the way, you can get a virtual server like this for $5. Okay, that's like 86 Rand, South African Rand off DigitalOcean. There's a video I've done on this channel where I'm showing you how to set this up. It's really cheap and it's probably the best way to run this type of programs so you don't mess up your own computer with, importing and having a whole lot of things running on it all the time. Okay, and the nice thing about this virtual server as well is if I wanted this program to run continuously, like I wanted to run this program and to be scrapping this website 24 hours a day, maybe on a loop, and every time there's a change, it emails me or whatever, you can't run that on your home computer. So it's just good practice. You just get used to developing off a server because over time, when you start writing programs, you're going to need them to run continuously. And then you're going to want that program to keep running. So you might as well just start learning development the right way. Start learning how to write code already on a server so that you can, be able to do whatever you want to do with it. Anyway, this is the root of our server. So I'm just going to list for you what we have. This is what we built the last time, development. And I'm just going to CD in there. So CD is just sort of like I am moving into that folder, okay? So I'm moving from the root of my directory into that folder, and you'll see now I'm in the folder. And then when I'm here, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it the scrapper, okay? So to create a new folder, we just do that, mkdir, it will create a folder with whatever the name that I want to call it. In this case, is scrapper. And then once I've done that, I want to CD into that new folder that I've just created. Making sure my spelling is correct, then this is what it will do for you. This line over here creates a directory and then it CDs into it, which means it goes into that directory. So right now I'm inside the scrapper directory. Every line of code I'm writing now, I'm going to be writing it in here. And when you're doing Python development, you've already installed Python 3 on this computer. And if you haven't installed it, like for example, you want to relearn from scratch, you're a beginner, okay? Start with our tutorial where we're showing you how to get this VPS. I'll attach the link on the description. And I'm showing you in that tutorial how to, set up your virtual environment. Set up your VPS machine or your server, your droplet, whatever it is. And install Python 3, install the virtual environment in it and all of that. So now we've already done all of that. We're now just creating now the project directory, and we're gonna create a new environment inside that project directory. So now that we're in the project directory, the scrapper directory, we want to create a new env where we're gonna install all our pip, our libraries in there. Okay. So our packages in there. So to do that, you need to just type Python 3.8. Remember to do it that way because this is the version of Python that you installed here. So you say Python 3.8 minus M, VENV, like that, and then whatever the name of the virtual environment that you want to create. So scrap, I'm going to call this scrap env, okay? So what this line of code does is it uses Python 3.8 VNV to create a scrap env virtual environment inside the directory that you're in, okay? So you click enter, If all goes well, it should create that for you. And if you want to see that the environment is created, just click ls again. This lists everything inside your directory that you're in right now, and you'll see that scrappy env is there installed, and it's in blue, so it's like a folder directory. Right. So what we do in here, once we've sort of created it, we want to activate it, because in order to work with anything inside the environment, you have to activate it. Once you've activated it, then you can start installing your packages. So to activate it, it's the same line that we use to activate our environment. It's source scrap env bin activate. Like that. Source scrap env bin activate, and if that goes well, you will see now the env in brackets at the beginning. So now from here you can do whatever you want to write your Python code. So the if you look at our lines of code at the top here, there's two things we need to install. Okay, let's talk about installing BeautifulSoup. Okay, let's talk about BeautifulSoup. There's lots of scrapping libraries you can use, by the way. Okay, there's even people that on the internet have like pre-packaged solutions for you. You pay them some money and they do the scrapping for you. But I'm teaching you how to do it as a developer. And BeautifulSoup is one of the ones I've used a lot, but definitely not the only one. There is a lot. There's other packages you can use to do the scrapping. But I will link also this BeautifulSoup in the description below, so you can go read on their documentation there. But basically, to install that, you just sort of, I'm just going to copy that the way it is there. And you just do pip install BeautifulSoup 4 like that. Okay, and then it will go collect the package and install it for you, right? So there isn't a whole lot of interesting things in here, but I will link this and read it when you have time, but I'll show you the code that we're going to be using. So clearly we need the BeautifulSoup is actually like a parser. Okay, so the BeautifulSoup is a parser that we use when we get the HTML content. We sort of go through that content and like find certain things and like parse that page to get to the data that we want inside the page. So scrapping basically involves two main packages. If you've done tutorials with us, you are used to requests. Okay, request is like your HTTP request package. It just collects a URL, and whatever it finds on that URL, whether you are posting or you're getting. So you can do a get request on an HTTP page, or you can do a post request on an HTTP page, depending on whether that page has been configured for post and whatever. And if you've seen our previous if you've done some of my previous Python Flask tutorials, you would have been exposed to the request library. So it's just a library for doing HTTP requests, like a curl. Like if you worked with curl before and you do curl get some URL, request is our curl inside Python that we use to get pages. I think in JavaScript you have some packages like Axios and similar things like that. So basically request does the same thing. Then BS4, so request comes first, and you get the page using request, and whatever the result you get from request, you parse that result using the BeautifulSoup. So BeautifulSoup is basically a parser. It goes into that whole big whatever results you got from your request, and it works nicely through it. It's a package for like beautifying stuff, but also like finding things in the HTML, and you'll see how we combine these two packages to build our web scrapper. So we have to obviously install request as well. So to install request is basically just pip install requests like that. Okay, so it will go and it will collect the package, and if all goes well, you should have, now we have in requests and BeautifulSoup installed. And to make sure that it all works, you could just type Python like that. All right, just type Python, and it will, now we are actually running commands inside of Python, because you'll have that Python prompt with 3 arrows, and you can just do a quick test, like just try and import requests like that in there. All right, and then try and import BS4 from BeautifulSoup like that. All right, and if you can import them without an error, it means everything is going well. Okay, so once you imported them, you can we can go find a page. Okay, so I'm gonna just run this 4 lines of code that are here. Okay, so the first thing is the headers, right? This is very, very important. Always use this when you're doing your scrapper, because what these headers do is it tells the website that you're visiting, it identifies itself as a Mozilla Firefox, pay whatever, browser, so that you're not identified as spam or as a bot, and it helps you scrap the website better without getting if they had bot blockers or whatever on the site. So I always use this for my headers. So just say headers is equals to that, right? And then once you've done that, headers must be equals to headers, like that. Okay, so you're gonna find whatever URL you like. Okay, so URL, let's say we wanna scrap the Google page. Okay, let's just get the Google page URL right. So google.com, let's just copy it from there, right, and paste it in there. https google.com. So when you put in the URL, you must put in the complete URL, not just the host. You must put in including the the protocol, whether it's HTTP or HTTPS. That's why I usually go to the site first and copy and paste the URL from the top of the page so I don't get it wrong. Okay. So let's say this is our URL, all right? And once we have that URL, we need then, we want to get the data from that URL. So it's a usual request, function where you get that URL using the headers. And the headers in this case is those identifiers of the user agent that we're creating. So let's just copy that line of code in there and say data is equals to that, like that. Then after that, we do the data content. All right, so basically whatever we get in there, instead of the text, you remember the last time we used request library, we got the text of the return from the request, but now we want the content. Okay, so C is equals to data.content, right, like that. Okay, you're not gonna see anything, and soup is the HTML parser. Okay, so what we do now is that we get that content that we got from the data, and then we use BeautifulSoup, this BeautifulSoup that we imported up there, to pass that HTML, and then we're gonna see what we get from there. Okay, so let's just copy that in there, and that's it. So let's have a look at what this soup looks like. Okay, so let's just type soup. Okay, so basically this is the Google website. This is all the content that is on the Google website, and you can see, it's a lot. So you have to work through this and try and figure out what exactly you're trying to extract out of this, whether you want to actually do a Google search, you could write the code to actually enter something into the input or whatever, So in this specific case, this is really impossible to do. So I'm going to show you how to actually approach, web scrapping the right way. So I'm going to exit out of this, and we're going to go into the process of actually writing the code. Right, so we're back out there. So let's create a file. There's nothing in here. So we're going to create a file. We're going to call it, let's just say nano. We'll call it nano cap.py. Just call it an app as well. Right, so we're going to write our code in here. But let's type it in there first, okay? So the URL that we want to search, like I said, it's not the Google one. It's this one here, because we want to get this, we want to extract this information out of it. So let's just copy that URL from there, and we want to paste it in there. So that's the URL that we get the programs. Okay. So basically, if we ran all of this, we would get the soup that is this URL data, and it's going to be some long thing that we cannot understand. So we actually now have to start parsing it and going into the result that we're getting to extract just what we want. Okay, and the best way to do that is you have to know the HTML of the website that you're visiting, and there's 2 ways to do that. The first way is you must be using a Chrome browser. Let's just start with that. Okay, so this won't work with definitely it won't work with Explorer and a lot of other browsers, but with Chrome, you just anywhere on the website, just right click on it and then go into view page source. So if you go into view page source, it's going to open another page and show you the HTML of this page, because you need to understand the HTML of this page so you can figure out how to actually extract what you want to extract, because you want to extract it from the HTML itself. So you can use the BeautifulSoup extractor to get, for example, all the H1 elements on the page, or a certain H1 element on the page, or the first H1, the second H2. So you have to understand HTML and you have to be able to read HTML so you can understand what you want to get out of the website. So if we go and we click open page source, you will see the HTML of the page. And if you can read HTML, right? And I know it's a complex version, but this is properly the HTML of the page. If you can read this HTML, you can see a couple of things that's happening, okay? You can go into that and, some things will just stand out. Let's see the page again. Overview of opportunities. Let me just copy that, right? Copy that and go in here and find and paste that, and you'll see, there's your title. There's the overview of opportunities, VC4A. So this is where that's happening, opportunities for entrepreneurs. You can do that, okay? And you can find certain things and you can see where everything is, but this is really, really a hard way of doing it. So I don't usually do it this way. The second way, and most probably the best way, and how most scrappers do it, is you inspect the page. This will open up a different sort of a second window, which actually shows the HTML of the page at the same time with the, so I can just make this smaller, almost hide it. It shows you the HTML of the page at the same time as the actual page itself, so you can see what's what. And the nice thing about this is, as you sort of highlight a part, like if you look at that and you move your whatever, you move your, this little arrow around, you will see wherever you're highlighting the arrow, opportunities for entrepreneurs is also going to be highlighted on the other side. So whatever is highlighted here, there, is also highlighted on this side, on the other side. So you can see where you are. You can see that this H2 over here, this overview of opportunities H1 is that H1 over there. And as you go down, so you can see which HTML element is for which part of the website. So what I want to extract here, actually, I want to get this list, okay? Because I want to extract the heading, and I want to get the link for the sort of more detailed page. And then I want to scrap that detailed page to get information and email that information to myself so that I will know what are the top opportunities, for example. Okay, so this is just a typical top of my head application that I've thought to just take you through the process of how you would go about doing that. So the first thing we want to do is to extract this sentence, and then click on this link or find the URL for this link from this sentence and open where that URL is taking us, and then open that other page so we can scrap that other page and get the detailed data, because this is just like it's just a title. All right, so I want to know more information about this. So to do that, let's go through the HTML and figure out how to get to this part. Okay, so we have to take it, one step at a time until we get there. So to do that, let's highlight that. That's the heading. This is the div over there. This is the other heading. And if you have a look over there, where is it now? There you go. Overview of opportunities. There you go. Div class partner list result. Okay, I'm gonna open that. All right, so partner list results, you've got an unordered list over there and an ordered list over here. Let's look at the top list here. So this is a list. And you can see when I highlight there with my arrow, it's showing me the first part. So basically you've got a UL element, and inside this UL element, you've got 1, 2, 3 LIs. So this LI is over there. Okay, the middle LI is what's over here, and the top LI is what's over there. Okay, so if I click on the LI and I open that again, then I can see that this LI has got, this is the link that I'm looking for. Okay, this is the actual text that I'm looking for in there. And so what I want to get to extract out of this website is this 1, 2, 3 LI elements. you understand? So I want this li, this li, and this li, and perhaps there's more li's as you go down because this actually continues. So if you look over there, you will see there's another unordered list there, and there's more li's as you go down there. So maybe it will extract all of them for me, okay? So I'm going to show you how to write the code to extract this li element, okay? So how do we do that? We need to then say, so this soup, so let's just go down here and say this soup is basically the entire website. So we want to get from this entire website just the li element, okay? So I'm going to call this li's of interest. We say soup, find, okay? But in this case, we want to find all, okay? So you can either say find. If you say find, it will return just the first item, the first thing it finds. But if you say find all, it will go through the entire soup, which is the sort of the returned HTML parsed HTML object, BeautifulSoup object, and it will look through all of that and it will find whatever it is you want it to find. So in this specific case, we wanted to find all list items, okay? So we wanted to find all li objects. So we're going to say we want you to find all li. All right. So let's do it like this and see what we get, okay? So I'm gonna just like and then we can say like print this. All right. So let's just copy this whole code, right? And paste it in here, all right? And then let's just save it, and then let's run it. Python app.py. See what we get. So that's a lot of list items that is just fine. It's still quite, yeah, it's still a whole lot, all right? And you can see, but the thing I want you to notice now here is, you know, that beginning, the start sort of bracket, you know, and the close one here, that is telling you that this is returning a list. So it's returning you a list of all the list li items in here. So I would say that's still too much. We need to narrow the search a little bit more because we're getting too much. We only want these ones, okay? So one of the ways that I generally use, and a lot of people I think do that as well, is you can just have a look here and look at the class of the list items. The class will separate this from the rest because this class here, it says partner list item, partner list program partners, list item, premium partners, item featured, whatever. And this is the same, and that's the same over there, right? And it's not the same. The partners list program is not the same down here. Okay, so this is different from that. So if I return only this, I will most likely only get the list items which have this class over here. So I'm going to copy the class. This is why you have to actually look at the HTML of the actual website. And if I look at this class over there, I'm just going to copy it up to there, right? And copy there, and I'm going to say, now I want you to return the list items, but not all the list items, okay? So just return for me the list items which have a class of this, okay? So just return these, right? And I'm going to copy this line, just this line over there, and try and see if I can, let's clear this first, and let's nano app.py, and let's go over there and delete this line, li interest, and paste the new one, which now returns only the items within the class that we want. So we're gonna save this, and we're gonna run this and see what we get. All right, so that's better. Okay, so you can see it's returning a list items, but it's only like returning like only a few list items. So it's returning everything that's in that class, and it should be only 3. So you can read through all of that, but this is still, you still can't read a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's look at only one object, okay? So let's say li print this at 0. Okay, so print li interest at 0, which is gonna just print me one element. Because we know there's multiple things it's returning. It's returning an entire list. You can see it's inside sort of square brackets. That's indicating that it's returning you a list. So if it's returning us a list, let's just print the first item in that list so that we can at least see what the item looks like, so we can pass it further to get deeper, get the link and everything that we want to get out of it. Because currently, I mean, I can barely read what's in front of me. So you want to sort of dig deep to the smallest part of, to the lowest element in your HTML, what it's returning, so that you can at least get some data out of it. So I'm going to I just want to print just one, li interest at 0. So let's do that. Let's clear this again, and then let's open that app.py. And at the bottom here, let's just print li interest at 0. So what this will do, it will print the first element in the array, and we can just at least have a look of what that element looks like. So to close this, is Control X. All right, it will ask you, do you want to save? Say yes, and close it, and then we can do Python app.py. Let's run it and see. So now we're printing just one element. That's even better, okay? So an entire list item object looks like that. You can see now it's not in the close bracket because it's printing the first element, which was inside the closed brackets. So it's actually, this is the list item object from BeautifulSoup. And you can pass this even more. You can pass this a little bit further and get more information out of this. But I like to, again, work off my, HTML viewer on the website itself, because that's always easier to pass. So I'm going to open this up. All right, and I'm going to have a look here and see what's in here. All right, so you have a list item, a class, and then you got a data href, and you've got what is it? What else do you have? I think there's more in here. Oh, then you've got a div. All right, inside the list item, you've got this first div, and you can also open up the div, and you can see what's in there. That's a lot. The second div, that's a lot. So actually what I'm interested in here is the, let's open that. All right, let's open that. All right, so what I'm interested in is, I'm interested in the accelerating the digital economy through women-owned businesses. Where is that? Let's have a look at this. Okay, accelerating the digital economy through women-owned businesses. This is not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is actually, I want this link over there, Standard Chartered Women. So I want that link at the top there. So let's see again. So let's close that. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. This media body. Okay, this whole media body, yes. But the first div in there, let's see. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So I want this link. So if you highlight over there, this div, let's highlight this div. Okay, so this is just the apply, and this one over there is the H3. There you go. So you can see when I put my mouse over there, it highlights the Standard Chartered Women Intake Incubator Cohort 4. That's what I want, okay? So I want this Standard Chartered Women in Cohort 4, and then I want this href. I wanted this link because I want to be able to click on it to open the detailed page. So let's see how we want to pass this whole object. So we've got the first list item object, and inside that list item object, there's an H3, all right? So let's get that H3. So inside li interest at 0, so let's call this our heading of interest. H3 of interest is equals to this li interest at 0, all right? So it's getting me the first li interest object, but inside there, I want to find the H3 object, okay? So I will click find, In this case, I don't have to use find all because there isn't a lot of H3 items. In fact, I want the first one. So I'm just going to use find. I'm going to say find H3, right? And let's print this and see what we get. So I'm going to just say copy in there and paste that in there, all right? And then should we just copy everything and rewrite this file? So let's just do rm app.py. What this does, it will remove the app.py file. So if you list, it's no longer there. Then you can then recreate it. So you don't have to like delete stuff in the file. So we can just recreate it by typing nano app.py. Then just repaste all of that in there. And then Control X to close, yes to save, enter to get out of it. Python app.py to run the program, and let's see. Okay, so now it's giving us the H3 object and it's showing us the H3 project. Now it's not in the list because you didn't say find all, we just said find. So it's finding that H3. Okay, and inside that H3 you'll see there's a class, there's a title, and there is an href. Okay, no, there's actually an A. So you can find the A and find the href. So you have to find the A. So this A, this is the link object, and inside the A there is the href and there is the title inside the H3, because you can see the H3 opening bracket is there and the H3 closing bracket is there. And inside the H3 opening and closing bracket is the A link. And the A link has an href, all right? It has a title, it has some text, all right? So let's then find from inside this H3 of interest. Let's say we want to find the A of interest, okay? Interest, okay? So this is just equals to that H3. It's just equals to that H3, all right? Dot find A, okay? Right. Now, I don't want to find the A. I actually want to find the href because I want to print this link, and then I want to find the title, which is the same as, so there's two ways. There is, you can find the title or you can find the actual text that's written inside the A opening and closing brackets. So let me show you the two ways of doing it. If you want to get so let's not even do the A of interest. So let's say we want the title. The title of interest. Then we want the link of interest, right? And then we want the title again, option 2, because I want to show you title, two ways of getting the title, because you can see the title is shown twice. It's there under title there, standard chartered woman incubator cohort 4, but it's also inside the A opening and closing brackets. So we can extract it from there, we can extract it from there. And I'm going to show you both ways. So the first way is to say the title option 1 is to do all of this, find the A. Once we have found the A, we want to get the text from the A. And this one will get us the text inside the opening and closing brackets of the A, right? Then the second way of finding the title, option 2, is to say H3 find A. After you found the A, find the title inside the A. So this one will return us this title in here. It will return us that, the second option. And the first option will return us the text inside the A object. And then I want the href. Okay, so the href, we would get it the same way you got that title there. So you would just do find A, all right? Find A and the href. All right. Yeah, let's hope this is correct. So I'm gonna print this. All right, and copy. Print option 2. All right, paste and print this link interest. All right, so let's see. Let's hope that's correct. I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to get back in here. I'm going to remove the original file by saying rm app.py. So that file is gone. Then I can recreate it. Nano app.py, and then it's empty. I'll just paste that in there and close it. Save it. Yes. And let's just run it. Python app.py. Let's see. Awesome. So no errors. So we didn't get spelling errors or anything like that. So the first thing, it printed the standard Chattel Women African Incubator code 4. So this is exactly the same thing. It's what's in there. And you can see the little space over there is also shown there. So the first way that we did it was to get it from the text. And from the text, there was a little bit of a space in there. You can see it's also included in there. And the second way, I think I prefer this way because this is nicely inside the brackets. So we will use that going forward. And then we've got the link. But the link is like sort of, from inside the website. So we need the original website URL and then plus this to be able to then find or click on the link to get to the next page, because now we want to open this page. Okay, so to open this page we need the what comes before this. And what comes before this, if you just sort of hover over the text, you will see the actual link at the bottom here. It will disappear when I move away. So when I go back there, it's showing. And you can see the actual URL. It's https://vc4a.com, then the rest of the Ibiza, whatever, Ibiza Africa, blah, 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 blah. So you just need that HTTPS in front, and then you can be able to get the rest of the link. So how we're going to do that is we're going to say, the URL2 is equals to that HTTPS. All right, let's have a look at that again. So it's actually this v4ca.com. So actually I can copy it from here, minus the programs. Okay. So let's just paste it there. All right, and then you can concatenate the rest of it. So it's that plus, okay, so don't include the end bracket, the end slash, because you can see this one starts with a slash. If you look at what we've printed out, it starts with a slash, otherwise you'll have two slashes and get an error. So we just leave it like that, plus whatever link of interest. Okay, so copy that and put it in there. All right, so URL2 is this, plus the link of interest. All right, let's print it. URL2, just to make sure that the URL is correct, and then we'll just copy that. And nano app.py, no need to delete it this time because it's just, we want to amend at the end just a little bit. So we can go all the way to the bottom, print all of that. We don't want to change that, we just want to add URL2 plus link of interest. So let's save that. Control X, yes, save, enter, and Python app.py. All right, so there's your URL, https vfca.ibizaafrica.com, whatever. So this is a proper URL. So this is the URL we're going to parse next. All right, so for that, let's just open it up in a new tab. So we keep this open and we go there, and so we can see what to expect. You always have to inspect the page that you're going to be scrapping, because you have to sort of figure out the HTML elements and how you're going to scrap it, and sort of how to get to this. The process we did from the top part, this is standard for all scrapping code that you're going to be writing. So all the way up to here, this is all standard, okay? But from here onwards, you've got to know the website you're dealing with. You've got to know that you're looking for a list item and the class, so that you can narrow down what you're looking for. So you have to look at the page that you're going to be scrapping. So let's continue. This is the new URL we're scrapping. So let's see what we're going to be getting. Again, anywhere on the page, right click, as long as it's not on top of another link, okay? It can just be a blank space. Right click and click inspect. and it will open it up. Sometimes the inspect is on this side, sometimes it's at the bottom, so you just have to move it around until where you want it. So this page, I want to extract a couple of things. I want to extract this whole paragraph here, and then I want to extract the website from this URL so that I can SMS these things or email these things to myself, the website and the application deadline, because I'm going to write myself an email that says, hi Bertha, these are the top 3 opportunities. Opportunity 1, this is the title of the opportunity, this is the details, this is the application deadline, this is the website you got to go to apply. Maybe I'll even write on the code a reminder to remind me every 2 days, the day before, write me another email. The day of the email, do not forget, I hope you've done this already. I mean, this is really the beauty of Python. You can do whatever, so you can write this thing to scrap the website, and every time it will remind you when you're getting closer and closer to the whatever. But I'll leave that as your homework. I'll just show you how to actually extract this and email it to yourself. Perhaps you can add extra code yourself in your own private time, how to add on a secondary reminder code to keep, maybe even SMS you on the day that you have not forgotten to submit this application. Now, let's get on to it. Again, we start by sort of hovering over here so we can get like the element. So this is a section. Let's open it up. And inside this section, you've got the div. That's the one we want. Let's open this up, this div. This is the partner and the div there and the section class. Okay, so this is the first part we want to actually pass because we want to get this application deadline in the website. So for that, I'm going to go into section class and see what's over there. All right, so let's see there. No, there's the div over there. Okay, so just sort of hover and see what's highlighted. That's how you sort of get into where you want to be. Okay, so you'll see here there's a table. Okay, and I'm zeroing in on the table. Now it's making a little bit of sense. That's the table. So open that table over there and you see the T body. So now we are on the body of the table. All right. So let's go down and you can start to see your TRs. Okay. So the TRs actually is the table rows. Okay. Then you can see, let's look at the first table row and let's look at the table row has got a TD and a TD. So it's got 2 table, what you call it, like cells or whatever. And if you open the TD up, you will see that this TD has got a span with application deadline written on it, and it's got another TD with December 30th. So let's just see the whole of the thing because I don't think there's other tables in here. So I'm just going to take a chance and assume that this is the only table in here. And let's see if we can return all the TDs, okay? Let's see if we can return all the TDs here from this website. So we'll do the exact same thing. URL2 is equals to that. Okay. And then I'll say R2. So let's actually call this R instead of data. Okay. So let's call this R so that we can call this R2. So this is the second time we are parsing the website. R2 is equals to basically all of that. So let's actually copy all of that and copy in there and say R2 is equal to request.get URL2, the second URL, and the headers are exactly the same. We don't change that. Then our C2 is equals to our R2 content. Then our soup2 is equals to our C2 HTML parser. So once we've gotten our soup2, we want to get our table TRs of interest. All right, and we want to call these equals to soup dot find all. What did we say? Find all what? TRs. And let's assume there isn't a lot of TRs. Okay. There's actually another way you can try and figure out how many TRs we have in here. You can always do what I did before and in view page source, and then you can try and find the TRs. Find the TRs. And you see there's only 7 of them, okay? So if you see there's only 7 of them, 1 out of 7. If you look over here, where is our over there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so these are the only TRs. So if you just find the TRs, we don't even have to include the class because there's no class. We are only going to get 7 results coming back. So we can do it that way. So we can just find all the TRs. Okay, therefore the TR of interest, it will be a list of all the TRs. So inside the TRs, we want the span. All right, and then we want there's 2 TD, so you have TD there and you've got TD there. Okay, so we want to find TD of interest. All right, is equals to this TR of interest, that one. Okay, dot find all TDs. Okay, so this is also a list of all the TDs. Okay, so then we want the first TD of interest at 0. All right, so TD of interest at 0 in here will be, wait, no. So the TD of interest should be the TR of interest at 0. Sorry, so that it uses the first element. I'm just making an example of the first element. So a TR of interest is to find all TRs, and this TR of interest is going to be an array. This one returns a list object. All right, so you have to pass through that list object by getting the first element in the list, and then from that first element in the list, then you find the TDs. Okay, then the first element of the TDs will be this one. Okay, and it will have an I and it will have a span. Okay, so if that's the first one and we say find span, it should return the span. And if we look at the TD of interest at 0 and of 1, so not of 0, so this is the second one on the list, so it should be the next TD dot text. This should be the actual date. Okay, so I'm going to say print this. All right, and print that. Okay, so let me go through my code again, make sure I haven't made mistakes, because I've written a lot of things in one without, sort of testing. So the URL, everything up to here I know is correct. So the TRs of interest, we're going to find all the TRs. This is a list, returns a list object array. Then when we get that list, we're interested in the TR of interest at 0, which is the first element in that list. And from that first element in the list, we want to find all the TDs. So it's going to go to all the first TR, and it's going to find me 2 TDs. There's going to be TD at 0 and TD at 1, because there's only 2 TDs in there. Okay, so for TD at 0, okay, we've got to take the TD of interest, which is this one, TD of interest at 0, and find the span. And if you find the span dot text, okay, so we must find the span dot text. All right, so print that dot text. So it should print for me application deadline. All right, and then the second one, it should print for me the date of the application deadline. Okay, so if this is correct, okay, so let's just file save all of this, and let's copy it and go run it. All right, so let's copy this, just make this faster. I'm going to remove the app.py. I'm going to nano app.py. I'm going to paste that. All right, and then I will Control X to close it, Y to say yes, Enter to save it under that name, Python app app.py. Oops. Line 30, TR interested 0, find all TD. Okay, so something is not quite right here. So find all TD here, we cannot Okay, so let's remove all of this. All right, let's print this. Okay, TR of interest. All right, so let's do that. All right, nano app.py. Just remove all of this at the end. All right, and enter, and Python app.py. Let's see what we're missing here. Okay, so it's an empty array. That's very weird. So find OTR. So there's a TR there. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's my mistake. Soup2. Okay, that's why I got it wrong. All right, so there's no TRs in soup. So I'm just gonna return all of this. And that was my problem. I need to say soup2 because it's looking for the TRs in the first soup and there's no TRs, that's why. So let us go back and TR of interest, let's have a look again. Okay, nano app.py, TR of interest, we need to delete everything up to there. All right, yes, enter, Python app.py. There you go. Okay, so this one was supposed to get the last time, so my error was just to forget, I forgot to do that day. Now that's the application deadline, that's the date. So that's what we want to extract. And actually I want to extract the application deadline, and I want to extract also the the website. Remember I said I wanted to extract the website. So the website, if I look at this, it's not the first one, so let's close that up. It's not the second one, it's this one over here. Okay, so let's open that and see what's in there. All right, so it says organizer, and then I want this, the second part. Okay, so the second TD, it has an A and href, so you can get the A, and then we can just get the website. This is all I want. All right. No, actually I don't want this. I don't want the organizer. Let's actually, I want the website, so that's the next one. I want this, the website. I want this woman intake. I want to get this link because I want to remind myself where I need to go to get this. So let's see how we're going to get to this. So the no follow link, oopsies. We need to say, so this is on the table. This is the first one, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to get 0, 1, 2, 3. We need to get the third element in the array. Okay, so it's the third element in the array. And then after the third element, we need to, on the second TD, we need to get the href. All right, so get the a.href. So let's write the code for that. So we've already gotten the let's just remove the print here and say this is the deadline. Actually, I don't need this one because I know this is the deadline. Okay, so I'm gonna just put in here and say the application deadline, and this will give me the date of that. TD of interest 1, the date, okay? Then I want the website. Okay, so the website is going to be TD interest. The website is going to be the tier of interest, find all TRs. So tier of interest at third. Okay, so it's going to be all of this, but not the 0, the third one. Okay, so the third one in the array. And then the second one, find TD. So you do all of that, find all TD, and then the second, the first, number 1, which is the second one in the array. So find all TD number 1, all right? Then once it's found that, then I need the href of that. Okay, href, that's the website. So that's the deadline, that's the website. And what else do I want again? Yeah, application deadline, application website. Yeah, that's it. So let me print an interesting statement here. Okay, print the application closes on that apply here. Right, and then I'll just say the format closes on the deadline and apply here website. Okay, so this gets the website from our crawling. Hopefully this is correct. We'll test if this is correct. There's only one way to find out if your code is right or wrong, is actually to run it. And this will get a deadline. We know this is correct. So what it does is that what this formatting does, it will print this statement, and a way I've put in the sort of the curly braces, it will enter these variables. So it will enter the deadline in there, and it will enter the website in there. So I should see the printout objects. I should see the string printed out that says the application closes on the date, apply here, and there'll be the link. All right, and then already remember over there, I've got the title of my, of my object. So let's save this. File, save that. But let me just copy all of this because I can't remember now how much I've changed here. And so I'm gonna just remove this again and say rm app.py. Okay, clear. Nano app.py. Let's just paste all of it again. Once you've done that, you say Control X to close it. It will say you want to save. You just type in Y, and then it will put in the file name, and you can just say enter, and then Python app.py. See. href. Okay, so I've got something wrong there. Oh yeah, sorry. I need to actually once I've gotten that thing at 1. I know what I've done wrong. So once I've got the TD at 1, I need to get the A first before I get the href. So I need to say TD at 1. All right, so leave it like that. Okay, so this is not a website. This is the TD. Okay, the website is equals to the TD. Is equals to the TD TD get find the A. So we have to find the A first, then we can get the href. Okay, because what's happening here is that we are finding the TD at 1, which is this one. So this is TD at 0. This is TD at 1. So we are finding the TD at 1 from the TD of interest. Find all TDs. I mean find all TRs, TD of interest. So that's something else. So TD is TR of interest at 3. All right. So we're looking for the third TR there. And we need to find the TD at 1 inside the TR. So from the TR, we find the TD at 1. Then after that, we need to find the A inside that TD. So we need to find the A first, then only can we get the href. Okay, So let's save that, save all, copy all of this. Let's run it. Hey, jeez. Okay, so this is got nothing to do with my coding. Sometimes when you get this type of code, it could be that you're doing too many requests and maybe they're picking you up as a bot, or maybe my internet connection has just failed me a little bit. So I'm gonna wait like 2 seconds and then I'm gonna run this again. Okay, there you go. Then it says the application closes on December 30th. Apply here, http://womanintech.co.ke about. Okay, so I got it right. So this is the code for extracting the URL in there. To save time, I figured this is going to take a bit of time. I've written the code at the bottom here, so I'm going to just copy and paste it. Actually, I need to exit and paste it over here. All right, and then I need to just X this as well, remove that and put it at the top so that it imports this at the top. So the mail client we're going to use is email, mime, text, and let's just make sure that we can import these inside our virtual environment. So let's just clear and say Python like that and just copy and paste these. Right, okay, no errors. This means we can import them without issue. Then what you do is you just write this code. This is the email code, okay? This is the web design website we did last week. I think I just recreated this for this tutorial. So you're gonna put the website, your email address you're sending from, the email address that you're sending to. Okay, so I'm gonna send it to my Gmail address. And then you're gonna just write this code, enter message title. I'm gonna say apply for this opportunity now. Okay, the message root from is str from. Okay, so let me just write that str from, and this is str2, right? We found an amazing opportunity, alternative, hello there. So this is the text that I want to write myself. I'm going to say, Bertha, hello. And then I'm going to say, we found this amazing opportunity, name. I'm going to say name. I'm going to enter the same curly braces because I'll enter that data later. And the website URL is equals to that. And what else do we do? We say we'll do, yeah, application closing date. Okay, so those are the 3 things we extracted, if you recall. So we need to have it like that, name. So at the end of the string, we just say format, and we'll put all of the items in there. So start with the name. The name is this title option 2. That will be the name. So just put it in there. The website URL is the one that we got in here, is the website. And the deadline is called deadline, okay? So website deadline, like that. Okay, so message text is our text, and then SM whatever, call this is my username and password. I will most probably just change these passwords after this, but assume everything goes well. You can just run this function. In fact, you don't even have to have it inside a function. You can just, actually, let's have it inside a function like that. That's fine. We don't need to print like anymore. We will just at the end of this, just, call that function like that. And then the function will run, okay? And this will write us the email, okay? So I'm not going to test this on screen because it's going to take us a lot of time. And I think we've already gone way too long with this video. But I'm going to put this code on GitHub. So if you go to our GitHub page, one of the repos will be in there, but I will also link it in the description below for the YouTube video that I'm going to create. And you can test this. This email code, I've used it many times, so it definitely works. So I'm going to just file, save that, and I'm going to copy it and run it. Just check that I don't get errors, okay? Because if there's an issue, I should get errors, okay? So let's go to, let's remove app.py. Okay, so it ran without errors. Let's hope the email was sent. Okay, I'm gonna check it, probably pause this video and have a look at my mailbox and see what I get. But otherwise, I will leave this video. I will link this video in the description below. I will link the code in GitHub in the description below, and then you guys can copy and paste it, and you can see what we've got there. So thank you guys for watching again. See you guys next time.